The NFL Combine is this week, but before that happens, I want to give you my top 150 prospects for the 2022 NFL Draft Class. This is my big board, but if you want to see my full big board and my full positional rankings, go ahead, check out the description below for my Patreon. But what's crackalackin'? It's your boy, Baroshmo, just in case you did not know so. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comments section below. I will have a 2-round mock draft with a special guest to help me along the way. That'll be out in a few hours. And on top of that, we're streaming tonight. You're going to get to see me walk the mock as I do it with some of the guys over there at Walk the Mock. But let's go ahead and get into it because I don't want this video to be too long for y'all. So, starting off at 150, we got Aaron Haynesford out of Texas A&M. He's pretty based for the linebacker position. He's a good enough athlete, and he's a very good run stuffer. Maybe a bit limited coverage, but he stops the guy from getting yards after the catch. So, hey, that's good. That's good in my book. Jalen Naylor, a guy kind of the forgotten receiver in this class because, well, he couldn't partake in the Senior Bowl, and everyone just forgets about this cat. Everyone's talking about those Senior Bowl kids or even some of the East-West Shrine guys. But Naylor, man, he's a speedster. He's got a combine invite. Be on the look for him this week. Braxton Jones out of Southern Utah. He's more of a developmental prospect at tackle position, but 36-inch arms, just insane. So I like that. Rivera's for Kansas State. Yeah, he was easily the best offensive line prospect there at the NFLPA Bowl, and he looked like it. Quality in this. I think it's actually a pretty darn good offensive interior class. Let's keep this sucker moving with Micah Mcfadden, one of my favorite linebackers actually in this class. One of the better blitzers at the linebacker position. Zonovan, bam, Knight, dude. I think he could be a good riser after the combine. Watch out for him. He might sneak back into my top 10. I'm just gonna say, watch out for that cat. Obina Eze out of TCU. He's a former Memphis transfer. Another guy that's actually pretty athletic for his size. He should test well at the combine as well. And then Rashad White at ASU. Everyone was wondering where was he in my top 10. I feel like this guy, he feels like just an athlete at the running back position. Like, as a pass catcher, I love what he could do after the catch. But even if you give him a basic running back route tree, like, he's not exactly the best route runner, given his athletic profile. At the Senior Bowl, I will admit, man, he was looking better between the tackles, but that's still something that he just didn't do a lot of at ASU. He's a guy that likes to break it to the outside, so I just think he's still a bit raw in that regard. And let's keep this sucker moving at 142. I got Smoke Monday. Best name in the draft, by the way. Probably, this is, like, after him, the safety class gets kind of like, I'm probably going to take this guy in, like, the late day 3. But the dude's pretty good. I love his explosiveness downhill. I got Mario Goodrich and Mikel Wright. Mikel Wright's size is going to be an issue for me. He just got bodied by more physical receivers this past season. He actually saw it the season before as well. Penalties were a problem. Goodrich might be an average athlete at the corner position, but the dude was a very competent coverage there at Clemson. Eric Johnson was a hot riser for me. From the NFLPA Bowl, had a banger week, banger game, and then he ended up getting a late invite to the Senior Bowl, and I thought he looked good. He showed he could compete. I'm a big fan of his. I might be a bit higher on him than some of the other guys. Also, I fell in a guy that he may have not won with it. He tried to pull off a fake spin move, didn't win the rep, but you're on the interior gonna whip out a fake spin move. I'm sorry. He's a man after my own heart. I can't help it. And then Greg Dolcige, big fan of his. The dude's, he's a willing blocker. That's the best thing you can say about it. He ain't a blocker. What he does is just after the catch. He's force in terms of being just a receiving tight end. He ate the past 2 seasons just by living up the seams. It was a thing of beauty. Brad Hawkins, he's probably going to be a box guy. when it comes to the NFL. Like he's kind of played a variety of different positions there at Michigan, from the slot to deep to the box. He kind of like took more of a deep slash split high role there with Daxton Hill moving to the slot. Very competent player, but probably a box guy given his athletic profile. James Mitchell, he's a forgotten about tight end in this class. I stinking love James Mitchell. He did have the knee injury the second week of the season. He tried to play on it the previous week and was like, yeah, I guess we're shutting me down. But this dude's a dog as a blocker, but what a lot of people forget is how speedy he can be. Like, just going back, like, looking at his 2020, 7 of 4 on contested catches, but since 2019, he's turned 31% of his targets into gains of 15 yards or more. Like, that's just insane. Jack Sanborn, man, he's another solid linebacker in this class. I kind of question what he can do in terms of coverage. Like, he was limited in coverage there at Wisconsin. They didn't ask much of him, but I don't think he's going to be like a massive liability. This is a guy that would make sure everyone's like in their spots, making sure of everyone else's assignments. He cleaned up as a tackler this year. He's a solid linebacker in this class. Tyreek Smith, I like this cat a lot, man. I wish he could go a lot higher, but it just ain't. That just ain't it, man. That's not him. This guy's got a mean bull rush, and he's just a competitor, dude. He's a competitor. He was a guy that was literally, I would say, rallying the defensive line for his team throughout the week of practices. He was that guy that was just he brought the heat. He brought the fire. He was just that, man. I like that. I like that about Tyreek Smith. Theron Mumford, we kind of know what he is. I feel like his ceiling's a lot closer than what, like, yeah, his ceiling's probably about as much as we saw there at Ohio State, but with the flexibility to move from guard to tackle is nice. The dude's, I think, could be a quality depth piece and maybe even a spot starter in the NFL. Demarco Jackson, man. He had a decent Senior Bowl, but this guy comes downhill with a lot of steam, willing to lay the big hit. I think he lowered his missed tackle rate this year. Let me go be sure exactly what it was, because I know it was an issue for him in the past. Well, over the course of his career, 16.6%. I don't have what it is year by year, but still, that's kind of like, it's a little choppy, but that guy's a good athlete. Pierre Strong, I talk about him in my running backs video. I think his game just translates well to the NFL. He's going to be a good back for a committee in the NFL. Jelani Woods at tight end. This guy, I think, has a chance to be a mismatch nightmare in the NFL. I'm eager to see how he tests out at. Because he's got freakish size, a crazy catch radius. He has some legit ball skills. You may look at the drops, but a lot of them are focused drops. If you go back to watch the tape, he's got the physical build to be a blocker. I think that will come in time. Romeo does, man. For a bigger receiver, he just doesn't play like he plays like a smaller receiver. He's afraid of physicality. While on vertical routes, he will stack corners, but I wish I got to see a bit more, just more hands from him. He's not going to be a contested catch guy, despite his size too. It's not like he's got crazy size. What, he's like 6'1". Looking at precise measurement, 6'1", 204. And then also on top of that, like, I kind of question the ball skills, and I think that kind of came to fruition during the Senior Bowl, that I was like, I don't think he has legit ball skills, like, because his drop rate was never that terrible, but they were like, the drops were like, how you drop that? Like, and he had a lot of chest catches too. So Rasheed Walker, he has the physical tools the NFL loves. The thing is, against top competition, he folds. He just hasn't been good against it, and it's just been the same case for the last like 2 to 3 seasons. And And then we got Hiley here out of Coastal Carolina, man. I don't get why he didn't get a Senior Bowl invite. I think he's a pretty crafty route runner. He's got a little bit of size. He came in clocking at 6 foot. I thought he'd be like 6'2", but 6 foot, 200 pounds. And like, he's not like an elite athlete or anything. It's just the guy's a mean route runner, and he can win at the test of catch. He could do a little bit after the catch. It's my cup of tea, man. I like him. He looked good at the East-West Shrine Bowl. And then moving on, Luke Fortner out of Kentucky. Might be one of the better center prospects in this class. He had a very impressive few reps against Phidarian Mathis during the week at the Senior Bowl. So I like him. James Cook. He's just one of the premier scat backs in this class. So having him around, he could go a bit higher maybe, but I think having him about here, it feels about right. Verone McKinney III had a bad showing at the Senior Bowl. You'd be like, when was he at the Senior Bowl? Well, he showed up on the third day. Like, kind of rough. But they had him doing the one-on-ones. But to be fair, what he's going to do in the NFL is the guy's a wonderful athlete. He has a nose for the football. He's a deep safety. He's a center fielder. That's what he is. Neil Farrell Jr. is I think going to be a good run stuffer. He has some juice there too for a bigger guy. Short arms though, you kind of worry about that, but he's more of a penetrator at the nose tackle position than an actual space eater. And then D'Angelo Malone had one hell of a week at the Senior Bowl. Like, he's probably going to be one of the better pass rush specialists in this class. They try to play him on a few in coverage a little bit, but he got like toasted by Jake Ferguson, who, by the way, just missed the list. Big fan. I like Jake Ferguson, but just missed the list. But got toasted by him. He had a missed tackle in the backfield on a swing pass, I believe, to Rashad White. Went for 7 yards. So I don't think coverage is going to be this thing. It's like you're going to bring him in on third down or on a passing down and be like, get after it. And he can do that. Jermaine Waller, he looked good at the East-West Shrine game. I'm kind of curious how he tests out as an athlete. I don't think he's a high-end athlete. He's a guy I think that has to win by getting physical. So kind of curious. Jalen Wademeyer, I don't think he's going to test well at the combine. So I'm going ahead. I'm going to put him here. If he tests better than I expect, I'll move him up. But he doesn't really, like, outside of, like, after the catch, what he does is, like, he's going to shove you to the ground. He's a smooth athlete. I just don't think there's a lot of explosiveness to him. And that, he was kind of minus in the run game, like, as a blocker. Like, I don't get it, man. I just don't understand. He didn't take that next step as a blocker, and it was just kind of a dud, you know? So what is he? This guy that comes in on like third downs and can be maybe a chain mover. But then again, he had the drop issues this year, which, to be fair, the previous 2 seasons were an issue. They just kind of surfaced this year. So again, maybe this is me just being a bit more precautionary with him. And then Yoma Uzuriki, I talk about him in my interior video. I think he's one of the best 3-4 end options in this class. He's got a little twitch to him. Zachary Carter, big fan. I've been a big fan of Zachary Carter for like the last 3 years. He's got a lot of versatility to him. He might not have like elite explosiveness, but I think he could come in and he could literally from tackle to tackle play any role for you. I love that versatility in terms of where you can align him. And then Darion Kendrick might be a hot one here. I know a lot of people really like Kendrick, but again, the one-on-ones, they're kind of designed more for, well, the receivers to look good, the cornerbacks. You're never going to look good when you're left on an island. But he got toasted, man. He just doesn't show that, like, the same physicality he shows in the red zone early in the route. He doesn't show that, like, around midfield. Like, he let Trey Turner just get a free release, flew by him with little to, like, no contact from Kendrick. And, like, I will say the closing speed wasn't bad, but still, it really left a sour taste in my mouth with him coming in already, like, with his speed as a question. And then, like, okay, kind of physicality is your game. Where is that, you know? Jeremy Ruckert, I think might be probably one of the best blocking tight ends in this class. As an athlete, he's a plus athlete. Didn't really get a lot of volume there at Ohio State, but who can blame him when you have Olave and stinking Jackson Smith and Garrett Wilson? Like, there's a ton of weapons there. But I don't think this is a guy that's going to torch anybody, but I think you can find a soft spot in zone and just kind of sit on it. Kyran Williams. This is another, I don't know if you really want to call him a scat back, but might be one of the best pass blockers in this class. He does have that receiving upside, but there were drops in 2020 that were concerned. Fumbles have always been a concern. So I don't know how much he could do as a legit like running back for you. Like, I think this guy's only coming on the field on passing downs, but he's lucky the upside's so good there. Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, coming here at 114. Another guy a lot of people are exceptionally high on. And again, he kind of showed that he's like kind of an average athlete, I think, for the corner position there at the Senior Bowl. And it was, for me, it was really telling, really showing during day 3 around the red zone drills, where just guys, just Christian Watson, man, just was exploded at the top of his route, and Bryant had nothing. He even allowed a touchdown in the actual Senior Bowl game. But again, I think this dude, he has ball skills. He was used to being targeted a lot because, well, when Ahman Gardner, when the sauce is on the other side, yeah, teams are probably going to throw your way more often. So again, I'm still high on the tape, but kind of have him in this like early day 3, maybe sneak into like the 3rd round type of area. Jojo Doman. Big fan. Think this guy's probably, like, initially I was like, maybe he's a slub, but no, he's probably going to stick at linebacker, but he's probably going to be a sub-package linebacker, which honestly is not a bad thing in today's NFL that, well, 80% of defenses now just run sub-packages throughout the season. So it's kind of good. Luka Godek, he got hurt. I think on the first day or two. Didn't really get to show off what he could do at the Senior Bowl. I expect him to test out pretty well, and I think early day 3, you're going to see this guy's name come off the board. I think he can play guard or tackle. And then Justin Ross. I might be a little bit lower on him just because I'm concerned about the medicals. And then on top of that, I'm just not a contested catch guy. That's just not my cup of tea. Like, if you're going to be a contested catcher, you better be a freaking phenomenal contested catcher. And his numbers just don't really tell you that. Like, he's a guy that's like, he's Mr. Oh, I will catch on your head. But he's a guy that can't separate. Even when they put him in the slot, he struggled to create separation. And a guy that's going vertical, like, he was still having like problems hauling in those balls. So like, that's why I'm a bit lower on him. Bailey Zappi, man, coming here at 110. He had a good Senior Bowl. Dare I say, he proved to not have the weakest arm there. I'm looking at you, Kenny Pickett. But I thought he had a decent showing, but I don't think it was enough to really move him up. I still kind of consider him an early day 3 guy. Brian Robinson. He's a power back through and through. That's going to be his role in the NFL. I think he's probably the best at that in this class. And then Damon Clarke. A lot of people were hammering home him and Quay Walker. We'll see Quay Walker. I actually moved Quay Walker up a little bit. But Clarke, I think he's a plus athlete. He brings a good pass rush. I wouldn't say he's not a playmaker in coverage, but another one of these guys that's like, they won't allow guys to essentially get yards after the catch on him. He's one of those guys. So yeah, no, like, this is a really good linebacker class. Calvin Austin III. Some of y'all may think this is low. I disagree. Like, just straight up, listen. I wasn't that high on Tutu Atwell. I think he's a way better version of Tutu Atwell. But at the end of the day, I think he's a gadget player. That's just what it is. Lecicia Smith is a pretty good guard there out of Virginia Tech. Tariq Castro Fields had actually a pretty good Senior Bowl. Like, everyone, like, where it is, everybody was just raving about him there at the Senior Bowl. So he came out looking pretty good. Byron Cook, probably I would say he's probably the top box only safety in this class. Like, this guy lays a hit. And to finish off before we get into my top 100, I got Taylor Britt, another guy. Speaking of laying a hit, man, this guy comes downhill explosive, and he's looking for violence. Like, I could see him in like an off coverage zone heavy scheme. Ed Ingram, a guy that he was playing center a little bit there at the Senior Bowl, but I think that was another position he was kind of learning off the cuff along with Zion Johnson. But I think he's probably going to end up being a guard. He's got a little athleticism to him. I like him. Isaiah Spiller. I'm not going to lie. I really want Isaiah Spiller to put the weight back on. Like, I like him as more of a power back with a little shake rather than he got down to like, what, 215. And I feel like he dances too much for his own good. I like that he was able to power through the line of scrimmage, and then he could throw a little shimmy on the second level at 225. I feel better about it at 225 than I did seeing it this year at 215. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go over to the top 100. A lot of these guys are going to be guys that I've kind of already mentioned this year, or through my top 100, so you can check that out. Matthew Butler just blew up the East-West Shrine Bowl practices. He's a very good, very explosive pass rusher. Donovan West was a guy that, man, it was really, I think for me, it was just like, I threw a little bit of recency bias when it came to the interior rankings, and I really needed to get back on him. I like Donovan West a ton. He's like one of my top center options, mainly for an outside zone blocking scheme. Here's Alec Pierce. I think he's going to test out well at the Combine. I wish he showed a little bit more at the Senior Bowl, but I thought it was it's fine. He's got good size. I'm eager to look at the straight line speed. I can't wait. Isaiah Likely, he's not going to offer much as a blocker. It just is what it is. Curious how he's going to test out. And he could be a wonderful receiving option, but I mean, I don't know how. Like, it's going to be interesting how a team decides to incorporate him, knowing that just blocking ain't going to be his thing. Darren Beavers. Listen, this dude's basically an edge playing linebacker, and I thought he showed good enough in coverage to where at the Senior Bowl that I feel good about him coming in and being kind of this drop, like this spot drop linebacker with a good pass rushing upside, whether it's off of a blitz or even if you just ask him, hey, hop on the edge and go after it. Marquis Hayes is a guy that I just really like. I'm typically not a phone booth type of blocker kind of guy, but man, I really like this guy's strength. I really do. Tyler Algier. I'll get his name down. Powerful back with very good long speed, man. Not explosive, but powerful, long speed. Go check out my running back top 10. And then Khalil Shakir, I think one of the top slot receivers in this class. At Senior Bowl, he showed just he showed the quicks, because I don't think he's going to test out great, but I think he's got the quicks. He's got the ball skills, believe me. He has some circus catches back at Boise that could be a big menace for a team. Josh Pascal, another one of the top, like I would say 3-4 end options here. I think he's going to be a really good run stuffer with a little bit of a pass rushing upside. Marcus Jones, man. Listen, I know he didn't take a lot of snaps there in the slot. He's a slot only in the NFL, just at that size. That's going to be the case. But those return skills, I think, were really what sets him over the top as not just a slot guy. Fluid athlete, too. Jerome Ford is one of my favorite running backs in this class. A power back with some breakaway speed. Though there were some inconsistencies with his contact balance, I still thought it was good enough to warrant him to be here in the top 100. Alex Wright out of UAB. I'm glad he got a Combine invite. There we go. So I look forward to seeing him. The guy is at 270. He's explosive and powerful. Like, I think he could end up being a big riser for some people. Sam Williams came to the Senior Bowl, I think, on day 3 of practice, and just didn't look nearly as good. To be fair, he was at the NFLPA Bowl, dominated. He had didn't deserve, like, he should have been there. He was easily the best player there, but just didn't have the same type of juice. And it's a deep edge class. Wan'Dale Robinson, and I got John Mechie. I might as well talk about both of them. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's like I think he's much more than a gadget guy. I really do. But his role is going to be a slot only. I don't think he's going to be a guy that can maybe win from the outside, at least consistently in the NFL. John Mechie, I kind of feel the same way. Like, him handling physicality has always been an issue his career. I thought he did a better job this season because, like, coming into the year, I think he was at like a 9% drop rate. I thought he did a better job at just being a better catcher of the football. I thought he looked a bit better after the catch as well, or at least after contact. But that's still something I kind of question, and obviously because of the ACL, we won't really get to see him. And then Quay Walker. A lot of people are really high on this cat. A lot of people really like him as an athlete. I'm kind of curious how he tests out. That's why I'm kind of like hitting the brakes on him. But yeah, Max Mitchell had a rough Senior Bowl in terms of just the play strength. You knew at a guy at sub 300, you were going to question that. A lot of that is coming from he was recovering from like fractures in his hands. So while he was there at the Senior Bowl, I don't think we really got to see an honest. I don't feel like it was I could have formed an honest opinion based on that. He has a ton of tape that I really like. Fedarian Mathis, not necessarily explosive, but he's a guy that uses his long frame and leverage to win. So I could see him being a one-gapper. Kirby Joseph kind of falls into the, who was it, Jermaine Johnson last year at Indiana, where the sample size is small, but it's very encouraging. Kirby Joseph is a lanky athlete. He literally glides around the field just because, again, when you got steps like his, like one of his steps is like 3 of mine. But he showcases ball skills. Really like that. He was a gunner on special teams. Hard hitter. I like that too. And then at number 81, I got Kellen Deich at Arizona State. The length for a guy that was like 6'6" is less than ideal. But hey, man, what? Penny Sewell and Rashawn Slater came in with sub 33-inch arms, and they're doing just fine. Not to say that Deich is the same type of prospect that those two were, but length, it's not the end all be all. And I thought Deich did a good job throughout the week at the East-West Shrine Bowl of just continually winning despite that. Christian Watson, man. This cat, he had a great Senior Bowl. Listen, he did. I like the jitteriness or the shake, the shimmy, whatever you want to call it, that he shows at the top of routes and just how explosive he is out his break. He is a tall, vertical threat. I don't know about the ball skills or like in a contested catch scenario. I'm not positive. I think it was like 17 of 42 through his career. So I think this is a guy that he's going to win. He's going to get separation. But if you're looking for a jump ball guy, that's just not him. Tyreek Woolen, man. Physical freak. Not the most lateral athlete. But Bruce Feldman, he says he's going to test out extremely well, at least in terms of the 40. I believe it. He's shown a knack to find the football. And again, he's just got press man written all over him. Dameon Pierce. Small, center of gravity. He's short. He's compact. I like it. I like it. That's what I like to see in my running backs. And then going to 77, I have Troy Anderson out of Montana State. By no means a finished product yet. His tackling technique is wolf and needs some work. I think he had 2 missed tackles in the Senior Bowl game. But in terms of being an athlete, like this guy is high end. Nick Cross, another high-end athlete. I think he's going to test out like a freak. Not the most surest tackler. He's more of a, hey, I want to come in and lay a big hit than rather than just wrap you up. Channing Tindall, a bit smaller despite how he plays. He's explosive, sideline to sideline athlete, but he's violent. His like how he plays, violence is the only way to describe it. Daniel Falalele, not an ideal week during the Senior Bowl. I think he's a lot more of a project than I thought going into the Senior Bowl. And then at 73, I got David Bell. Listen, separation's going to be a thing. He's not going to test out great at the combine. Like, I think it'll be fine. Like, it's just speed, shiftiness isn't really his thing. But after the catch, how he controls his body at the catch, like, top notch. Martin Emerson, another guy, not going to test out great. He's not a speedy guy, but he's got those long arms. He's ideal press. And it's just the abundance of zone concepts that he had to understand there at Mississippi State. I thought was pretty impressive. Sean Ryan, another guy that sounds like everyone's kind of just referring to him as a guard. I wouldn't mind giving him a shot at left tackle. Former shot put guy. Very strong hands. It's like throwing a brick through a window. That's how hard he hits people. Big fan. Brandon Smith, another guy that's this year just started playing a traditional linebacker role. He used to play like that overhang, that like slot type role there at Penn State. And he just didn't attack it with the same type of explosiveness. Again, this is another guy that is more of an athlete than a linebacker, or at least traditional linebacker in the sense, so might need a little bit more to develop. Going to 69. Nice. Cameron Thomas here at 69. Listen, man, coming in weighing at 264, like your calling card can't be, oh, I'm versatile, you can line me up anywhere. Like, that can't be your calling card. At 264, they're going to expect you to win on the edge consistently, and then maybe on passing downs, they kick you to the inside. So, really, really was hoping he'd come in there at like 270 plus. Nicholas Petit-Frere, another good option, man. He has a few like burn the tape moments this year against Penn State and Michigan, but the guy's got the ideal physical tools and traits. Just another dude that just needs to develop at the position. Darren Canard, really think he's moving to the inside. Though I would say his tackle reps on day one of the Senior Bowl looked better than the rest of the week at guard. A guy that just pass protection is just not his thing. However, for Abraham Lucas, I think this is one of your plug and play. The reason he's here at 66 is because the ceiling's not that high, but the floor is. He's a high floor guy. I think he could be an NFL starter right off the bat. Honestly, I think he had the best win rate of any of the tackles there at the Senior Bowl. And then at 65, I have Carson Strom. Hold on, I'm just scrolling. There we go. Carson Strom. Just didn't come to the Senior Bowl and impress like I thought he would. Listen, I like the dude as a passer, but man, I really do think that throughout the whole week, like, if you put Kenny Pickett's concerns, his physical concerns, to the side, Carson Strom probably was one of the least impressive quarterbacks there. So tough luck that one, but yeah. Mijah Sanders, the dude's lean. The dude is lean. 242, phenomenal run stuffer. But I want to see him put a little bit more meat on the bones, more mass. He's going to hold up as a run defender in the NFL. But I like the length. I like the explosiveness. Jamari Sawyer, I thought he looked really good moving to guard during the Senior Bowl. Nick Benito, it's kind of weird. There's going to be a team who drafts him. He's going to have to be like a perfect scheme fit or some role in mind. Like, this guy's not going to fit for every defense. He's very, very scheme and role dependent. Very. And then moving on up, I got Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver. I thought he probably had maybe the best Senior Bowl of any of the receivers there. I think Christian Watson did the most for his draft stock, but Tolbert coming in a little shorter than anticipated, but he's got long arms. He loves to high point the football, and he's got legit juice as a route runner. Dylan Parham, man, came in 30 pounds heavier than he was listed at Memphis. Didn't look like he lost a step, and I thought he competed well. So I got him here. Logan Hall. This dude's weird, man. He's a tweener. I don't think he's thick enough to win on the interior. I really think he's going to end up being an edge guy or maybe a 3-4 end. Even then, I'm kind of like, ugh. Breece Hall, man. He's my second running back listed. He's my number 2 running back in this class. I like Breece Hall a lot, man. I really do. I think his game just translates. I love the contact balance. This guy just eats contact for breakfast. And then moving on up, Trey McBride at tight end. Listen, I just don't like the tight end class. While I think it's kind of girthy, I think it's a little deeper than people give it credit for. I don't think there's really any. I don't think there's high-end talent at the tight end position. Like, Trey McBride came in weighing way less than I thought he would at like 249. But the dude makes great catches away from his frame. I think he's going to be a wonderful receiving threat. But and then also as a blocker, he's solid. But like, he ran a variety of different routes there at Colorado State. It's not like he's an elite separator. Where he separates is when he's able to get that straight line speed on crossers and such. So here's Kenny Pickett. Listen, I'm not high on Kenny Pickett. I really try to move him up a little bit because I want to respect Kenny Pickett. I really respect him as a prospect. Like, I do think he sees the field better than probably any of the high end, like the top 6 quarterbacks in this class. It's just, listen, man, y'all, you could say all day, oh, hand size, you're overreacting to hand size. Historically, there hasn't been a player in the NFL to start a game at quarterback with sub 9-inch hands, not named Michael Vick. I'm just saying, you're betting on the exception. I'm not willing to. If you're more willing to give him a shot to pull the trigger in the first round, go right ahead, man. I'm just not willing to take that risk. So, yeah. Christian Harris had a great end of the season. Dude was ferocious. Like, we know what he can do as a blitzer. The dude's a solid tackler. While, like, how he tracks down ball carriers is kind of iffy sometimes, and taking on blocks isn't always great in the run game. Like, the dude's a wonderful athlete. If you could kind of get better awareness in zone, like, the dude's got the athleticism to be a real difference maker in coverage. But I still think if I'm like a man, like if I ask my linebackers to play more man coverage, then I'm a bit more comfortable with drafting Harris. Chad Muma, great athlete. Physicality, I think, might be a concern for him, but the dude's a sure tackler and makes plays in coverage. And then I got Drake Jackson, dude. I like Drake Jackson a ton, but listen here. You could literally take his 5 to 10 best reps, and they probably are on par with like the top 5 in this class. It's just consistency has been an issue. While he was more consistent this year, he also dealt with injuries, and then also had the whole coach getting fired thing there at USC. So wasn't particularly ideal, but I like the athleticism, the explosiveness, the length. Probably gets stronger in the lower half. I don't think he does much as a run defender, but nah. DeMarvin Leal, I really hope he's a big riser come this week at the combine, man. He had the run in, the drug arrest. It was for like a itty bitty piece of marijuana. So to me, that's no big deal. It's just more boneheaded. Why would you do this? It was around the Christmas season. Maybe he thought he had mistletoe. But again, the guy put on a little bit more weight during the year as A&M played him more inside, and it just wasn't his cup of tea, man. Like as a run block or a run defender, he wasn't winning in that way. So I'm kind of curious how he comes in and tests out the combine. Dude, it's a guy I'm still pretty high on. Tyler Smith, big fan of this cat's game. The dude's big. The dude's actually surprisingly more athletic than you would think. He's got good length. Penalties were an issue. I would say he is a bit raw in some of his pass protection technique, but I like him at least early on as guard with maybe a chance to be a tackle. So let's go ahead to the top 50. All right. No, there we go. Top 50, starting at 50 with Kenneth Walker. That's right. Y'all know I'm not a draft running backs high type of guy. And hey, dude, I like Kenneth Walker a ton. I think he'll help his draft stock a lot after the combine. I think teams are going to, like, especially if he tests out a bit faster than what people think. Oh my gosh. I wipe my nose and I feel something on the tip of my nose. But I don't know if that helps him too much. Do I bump him up a few spots? I don't think so, but I think there's a good chance he goes at the beginning of the second round. Kylo Gordon, he's going to test out great at the combine. Still a bit of a polish needed in his game, but the dude's going to test out great. Kingsley Enagbare, he doesn't have the most juice in this class. That's why, actually, we could talk about him and Arnold Ebiketie right here. Honestly, I think I might move Enagbare ahead of Ebiketie. I don't know, man. I don't know. I love how Kingsley, like, this game's violent, man. It's violent. But then you look at Ebiketie, he's a guy with way more pass rushing moves. Not many, but like the dude, like he has like his approach to rushing the passer is brilliant, man. Because like he could rattle off these like hand counters and combos. Like it's impressive. And then we'll see how people like this. I got Jahan Dotson down here, maybe disrespecting him a little bit. We'll see how he tests out. I think he's gonna test out amazingly. So I think I just might be a bit more. Maybe it's the size thing I'm trying to get past. I think he's got real bunnies, man. But like, how physical can he be at the catch point? You know, it's probably gonna be like 5'10", 184. Skye Moore, I love what this dude does after the catch. I really do. Everyone and their mom are saying Deontay Jones. Deontay? Right? And I said Jones. Deontay Johnson. The former Toledo, now Steelers. Like, I was a big fan of his coming out. So I'm going to love a guy like Skye Moore. It's just is what it is. Travis Jones, man, probably one of the I think there's a chance he could end up being the top nose tackle taken. Like, if not for Jordan Davis's just sheer size, like Jones might be that guy. Perion Winfrey, it's still kind of question how he can, if he can be a guy you can play every down, just because I still think the jury's out on him as a run defender while he looked better in that role during the Senior Bowl, because honestly, Oklahoma kind of played him out of position a lot. So I don't know. I'm still hesitant, but I love what he does as a pass rusher. I really do. I am so eager to see how George Pickens tests out. It just kind of questions that come into your mind with Pickens is like, okay, if he was healthy, why was Georgia so limited with him like during the playoffs? It just, those type of questions. Like, we really haven't seen good production from Pickens since like for about a whole year and a half now. Lewis Seen, Jaquan Brisker, they're very similar prospects. I like them both. Very sure tacklers, hard hitters, very disciplined in coverage. Big fans, just kind of like they're not high-end athletes at the safety position. Leo Chenal, I love what he can do at linebacker. Listen, I always say when it comes to linebacker, because I'm a sucker typically for coverage guys, but if you're not going to be a coverage guy, you better be freaking good as a blitzer. And at 260, he kind of is. He's a guy that's going to be a menace in the box around the line of scrimmage. He's just stupid powerful. Jalen Pitre here at 38. He is essentially my Elijah Molden of this year's draft class. And then here comes Roger McCreary. I got him at 37. I really do think the 29-inch arms take him out of the first round, at least for me. Kind of question, can he play on the outside? Because you only have, like, there were only 4 corners last year that started on the outside with sub 30-inch arms, and Roger McCreary's arms are closer to 29 inches than 30. But I'm willing to bank that McCreary could break that. I don't doubt that he could play on the outside, but it's still a question. Boyo Mafe probably moves up this list after the combine. He had a great Senior Bowl week. Here's Matt Corral. I just kind of worry, is he a product of Lane Kiffin's offense? Was he just an RPO heavy guy? I mean, he was, but does he need a little bit more development going to the NFL? I think he does. Maybe just to kind of like, how would you say, just get off or go through your progressions, look off your first read once or twice. Kyer Elam, man, it feels dirty having him in the back here, because I would take him higher than this. It's just, it really does. Like, he's a plus athlete. I won't say he's a high-end athlete. Penalties were an issue this season, which was kind of like the Achilles heel for him this season. It was why his season, like, he had a down year, but still a big fan. Trevor Pennant, the NFL is going to love him. I love him here at 33. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Brian Asamoah, this is literally my cup of tea when it comes to linebackers. The length is insane. How he can cover is nuts. Like, his coverage ability is, I think, through the roof with the type of athlete he is. You're just going to kind of question, can he consistently play the run? Can he play more physical? And then I got Jordan Davis here at 31. I've been very open about how I am about Jordan Davis, how I feel about him. That I'm not completely sold on him as a three-down player. I don't think the pass rush upside is nearly as promising as other people make it out there to be. But you know he's going to be an elite run stuffer, and he's a space eater. Daxton Hill, I really do think this cat is going to be a center fielder. Be a shame if you just played him in the slot. Michigan. Devontae Wyatt, man, he's probably the most explosive interior player in this class. I think you could put him on an NFL field tomorrow. And then Desmond Ritter. I think Ritter, at least personally for me, was maybe the biggest winner coming out of the Senior Bowl. But that's mainly because I just wasn't as high on him as some other people were. If you've been around here for the channel, if you were with me during that live stream, Alabama versus Cincinnati, like, you could probably, that was the moment I started turning on Desmond Ritter. You might be like, they didn't have a good game. But he was making some special throws just because his receivers weren't catching it. I still believe, hey, the guy's wildly inaccurate at times, but he does take care of the football, and he can make special throws, and he is a plus athlete. And then we're going to, oh, this is going to be a long video. Man, I should have just, I'm running through everybody. I'm sorry. Andrew Booth. Question is long speed. His tackling's kind of pants. That whole technique needs work, but dude could mirror very well. I think he's going to test out very good too. Bernhard Ryman, while he had ups and downs at the combine or at the Senior Bowl, I thought it was important for him to show that he could compete. He was one of the more consistent, I think, offensive linemen on the week. I love this guy's movement skills. Keep in mind, this guy just started playing the tackle position all of 2 years ago. I think it's impressive. David Ajabo, it really depends on how you view him, or at least what you view he can become. That's kind of the interesting part. I ended up knocking him down or putting Walker ahead of him because, well, at least Walker could play the run right now. Then Zion Johnson, dude, he was a big riser in the for a lot of people. I've been pretty high on him, though. I think even before the Senior Bowl, I had him sneak into my first round because I was like, yeah, I have this guy around 40. But man, he could be a good riser. Just want to put that name out there, and then bam, there he goes. Having a good Senior Bowl. But yeah, he's basically pro ready start now. Travon Walker could end up being a riser. I'm curious how he tests out this week. But he's another guy that's got these physical tools that are just tough to pass up on. Chris Olave, dude, people need to put respect on this cat's name. While I might not, like, he might not be, he's like my wide receiver 5 in this class, I still love this cat's game. Like, he's a polished route runner, a very good route runner, gets separation. While, yeah, he's not great after the catch. He was a bit better this year, which is typically, that's a me thing. I love after the catch ability. More so after contact, but he's got legit burners, man. Kenyon Green, people start talking about him. I think he could play tackle. That's why he's in my tackle rankings. Then Jermaine Johnson, I said this dude's probably going to be a top 20. You could start him tomorrow. He's a plus athlete at the edge position. He's not like he's not like a David Ojabo elite, but the dude has good bend for his size, great mass, like people look at them lower body, like the lower body strength of him. But man, just look at those steel freaking pillars he has for arms. Jameson Williams, man, here at 19, he's still top 20 for me, man. I think he's a good route runner. I think he's got rare stop-start ability that wins in the NFL. Even if you're like, oh, well, he won't start for the first month or two, and he's going to miss the training camp and off season. It's like, you're drafting this guy for like the next 4 to 5 years. Okay. Sam Howell, Malik Willis. Y'all know I'm a big Sam Howell fan. Malik Willis, though, his upside's ridiculous, is what it is. If you want to hear me talk about the quarterbacks, go to my quarterback ranking video. Same with, like, let's just go over Jacoby Dean. Devin Lloyd, they're kind of 1A, 1B for me when it comes to linebacker position because they offer a lot, a little bit of little different, you know. Devin Lloyd is more of this, like, his game's just going to translate right from the get-go. Sure tackler. He's shown to make plays in coverage. He's got the length, too. Keep in mind, like, 2 of his, like, I think 3 picks this season were off tip balls. But still, he made some pretty impressive diamond catches. So, while in coverage, you could be like, maybe not a guy that makes play in coverages consistently, but he will consistently play the run well. He'll consistently bring guys down after the catch. Don't allow them to get plus gains. And what he offers as just like, he could line up, honestly, on the edge and get after the passer. And then you talk about Nakobe Dean, where size will be an issue for some teams. But this guy made like 2 to 3 special plays every game. How he sees the field is next level, dude. Oh, you're going to worry about the size. You're going to worry about the length. But the athleticism, it's just, love it. Drake London, dude, the dude's got great size. Brandon Marshall, great comp, I think. He's got a huge catch radius and does great things after the catch. Garrett Wilson, I love him as a route runner. He get a little too fancy sometimes, but he just has that shiftiness and just to create separation. He's good after the catch. Another guy that could probably add a little bit more mass to him. I guess I'm higher on Trent McDuffie than some people are. Listen, I get it. Maybe depending, we'll see if length is a thing at the combine. But this dude was fabulous. He has 3 shutdown seasons at Washington. Some people question his ball skills. He wasn't thrown to. Isn't that the whole point of a corner? I love how this guy sees the field. He's got great speed too. Tyler freaking Linderbaum. I'm a big fan of Linderbaum. Maybe he comes in weighing over 300, but even if he doesn't, the dude's got great movement skills, and he's a mauler, man. He's a mauler. He's got strong hands. Treylon Burks. This is a guy that could probably, honestly, might end up dropping 7 to 10 spots, depending on how those agility drills and explosive drills look. I'm interested to see if he even participates in them. And then George Karlaftis. I don't know why I can't get this guy in the first round. He's such a hard guy to project because, listen, this dude's game translates well to the NFL. The question is, what is the ceiling on a guy like Karlaftis who has his length, not ideal. His bend, not great. But what he does, he could be an edge setter. He's powerful. He's got a lot of pop. Like, to validate him being a top 10 guy for me, I need to see him be great in the explosive drills this week. And then I got the sauce at number 9. The dude was just shut down this year. And then Charles Cross, Ikem Ekwonu. I got him here at 7 and 6. Both are phenomenal. Cross has been a hot riser for a lot of people in general this season. Wouldn't surprise me if if he's the top tackle off the board. The guy's got that type of upside, but Evan Neal's next level. Derek Stingley, listen, let's see how the ankle checks out this week. I'm telling you, this guy's going to test out like a freak. Hopefully he doesn't wait till his pro day. I imagine he's ready to go. Then Kyle Hamilton, despite like positional value be darned, dude's just one of the best safety prospects we've seen. Evan Neal, wonderful player. Like, you don't expect a guy to have like the quick feet that he does at what was he, like 370? 350, 6'7", 350. Just, I'm telling you, just go look on the Twitter. Go look up those what is it? Jumping, or those lunge box jumps. It's just impressive. And then honestly, KT and Hutch are 1A, 1B for me. I give for some people that are like, oh, Hutchinson, he's more pro ready. Honestly, I think you could start both these guys tomorrow. But oh, he's more of a locker room leader. There's less of a if you want to say less bust rate. But KT's got the physical tools, the physical traits. People question his motor. This guy's been an Iron Man when on the field. He saw, I think he was in the top 5 in terms of double teams he saw this past season. Like, dude, KT is wonderful. Can't go wrong with either or, but this is a freaking long video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You get a couple of long videos today because that draft video is long, but it's good conversation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.